Hey everyone and welcome to the video. Here's a nice quick video to explain the current situation to you. So everyone right now is panicking about the fact that Gearbox now owns Saints Row and not Deep Silver. If you didn't hear, Deep Silver has basically internally moved away from Saints Row because the Embracer company that owns Saints Row, Deep Silver and Gearbox have basically gone, Gearbox has better resources. So a lot of people out there right now, especially the people who are on the anti-Saints Row wagon, are like, oh, Volition's shutting down, Saints Row's had no sales, I knew Saints Row was flopping. It's actually nothing to do with that. If you read the report, I'll put the paragraph on screen. If you read it, they talk about the sales being just as expected and perfect for what they wanted it to be within the quarters. So it's fine. It's nothing to do with sales. But they do say that they're upset with how Saints Row is perceived, which I can understand. A lot of people didn't like how Saints Row turned out, and even me myself, there's definitely elements I wish turned out differently. So what they've said in the report is that Gearbox is just going to be able to allocate resources better, which I think is definitely one of the main hindrances of Saints Row. So what this does not mean is that Volition is shutting down, Volition is moving away from Saints Row, or anything of the sort. It's just that instead of being published by Deep Silver, it's now published by Gearbox. That's all. And hopefully with Gearbox we'll have a bit more creative freedom and resources to manage Saints Row, opposed to Deep Silver that's obviously going to be working on Dead Island 2. So the issue with Deep Silver currently, I feel, is that whilst working on Dead Island 2, they're putting so many resources into that Saints Row's also got to thrive. Whereas Gearbox, I feel, will have the resources to fully focus on Saints Row and what's coming up for Saints Row. So yeah, it's not the bad news everyone likes to pretend it is. It's really not that big of a deal. The general consensus as well, from what I've heard, throughout the internet, is that people are pretty happy about this, both internally and externally. Fans and people who actually work at Volition seem to be over the moon with this stuff, which is great, obviously. And I just don't think it's as big of a deal as everyone's panicking about. This does, however, mean we might see a drastic change in Saints Row in many ways. Whether that's how they want to move about Saints Row creatively, we could get another reboot, a Gearbox-based reboot, where they take control. Or perhaps we'll just see a bigger budget, which would be great for Saints Row. But realistically, all that's happened is that the Embracer company that owns both Deep Silver and Gearbox has moved Saints Row from Deep Silver to Gearbox. No big deal. They're also not bothered about sales. It's nothing to do with the finances, and Volition isn't shutting down. It's just they feel that Gearbox has a better amount of resources to allocate towards Saints Row opposed to Deep Silver. So, that's all. Don't panic. Don't stress. It does not mean it's the end of the world, and in fact the only thing they really talk negatively about Saints Row is how it's perceived by fans. Everything else externally to that is doing fine. And this is a good thing. At least I think so. Hopefully it can please everyone. Hopefully we get more creative control, and hopefully the budget can be better for the next Saints Row. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it's good news. It's just news, and I don't mind it, but I think it's okay. I think it's good news relatively, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But so far, yeah, it appears that Deep Silver no longer owns Saints Row, which is kind of crazy. It's just weird. I mean, wow, I did not expect that. But yeah, so let's see how the new Saints Rows turn out. Thank you all for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and hopefully this informed you of the current situation. See you guys.